Daddy, I'm Kimberly Edwards from cookingwithkimberly.com, and tonight I'm going to show you something that's a staple of late spring and summer, and that is harvesting your rhubarb. Now, I've harvested my rhubarb today. We had a giant crop. This is our first crop of the season. As you can see, I have like more rhubarb than I know what to do with right now. So I can't possibly cook everything right now with rhubarb. That would be just silly. So this is how you're going to prepare it to store it, okay? So you're gonna store them inside these resealable plastic bags. You can get them at any grocery store, you can get them at convenience stores, whatever, okay? You want a big size. I get like, I don't know what that is, maybe a quart or something like that. Anyway, that's the size I get. They're manageable portions. I'm gonna fill these up, and all you need is the rhubarb and some sugar. The sugar is something that you definitely need with rhubarb because rhubarb is very tart and tangy, and it doesn't really have much sugar in it. So it's just like you're bombarded with that. And if you've never used rhubarb, seen rhubarb, grown rhubarb yourself, it looks like giant celery sticks that you harvest with these enormous leaves. So this great big stalk like this had a leaf like this big on it. So you cut it at the bottom, just go out there with a little knife, chop at the bottom, and then you're gonna have that big leaf and just slice it up. Now, with the leaves, don't throw those leaves out. Those leaves are fantastic for using to cover in your garden all those terrible weeds you don't want to grow, right? So you weed your garden, you put those rhubarb leaves out, it covers it up, it keeps the sunlight from getting on those weed seeds and growing them. Got me? So rhubarb, fantastic. Use those great big rhubarb leaves. We have them all over our tomato plants on the bottoms. So now what you're going to do is I've brought all this in. Now I need to clean it. So I'm going to take it to the sink and in batches, clearly, because I got just too much. I'm going to take it in batches and I'm going to wash it under cold water, make sure there's no grass on it, bugs on it, dirt on it, etc. And then I'm going to bring it right back here, okay? So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so make sure you have a nice sharp knife. You have yourself a good cutting board, a nice long one because rhubarb is long, right? So cutting board, a knife, and I like to use a great big measuring cup that will also double as something to hold my bag open. That's an easy way to do it. Then you can also kind of gauge how much rhubarb you're actually storing in one of these bad boys, right? So this measuring cup is six and a half cups about. So we're gonna just guesstimate and see how we're doing here, okay? I'm gonna make a whole bunch of cool things with this. I'm gonna make some muffins, I'm gonna make some rhubarb jam, I'm gonna make some rhubarb mouse, something that's a traditional fruit stew, a German fruit stew that we do all the time. And I'm sure I'll do it on video for you guys to see as in a show. But really there's nothing to this except chopping it, okay? So now I'm gonna move some of this down so you can see my mountain of rhubarb. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab a couple pieces. I try and grab pieces that are like sized, like the same width-ish. And what I do is I like to line them up together. Don't worry about odd shaped pieces because when rhubarb cooks, it melts away. It just kind of falls apart unless you're gonna make muffins and you're gonna have a nice piece and no big deal, right? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. What I do is I just slice it just like celery, okay? This looks like celery. It looks like celery that's green and it has burgundy and red and pink highlights, little stripes, right? Now, if you find a spot like this one, I mean, this stuff comes from nature, guys. It's not perfect. It has a little spot on it, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to cut up to that, and I'm going to throw that out. I mean, it's just common sense, guys. Okay? And there you go. But don't waste it just because it has one little tiny bit at the end, okay? All right. The other thing is a problem. Just wanted to show you this on purpose. I just sliced it. Faster you go, sometimes it's great. But you might not slice all the way through, and then you get this going on. And you'd be mad as all get out. So, take your time. Use that extra little bit of pressure. Pay attention to making sure that you're cutting all the way through, because no one wants a whole big long string of rhubarb in anything. I'll tell you that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what this rhubarb looks like inside. These are probably half-inch little slices. That's what they look like, okay? So the outside has that little bit pinky stuff on. Sometimes it's green, parts of it are green, and then the inside is this nice green. Now my mom used to send me out, I told her yesterday or today when I was harvesting, I said, you know what, I've been harvesting rhubarb since I was 4 years old. My mom used to send me out into the driveway. We had a great big rhubarb plant, and she'd send me out with a knife, she'd send me out with a little saucer with some sugar on it. And she'd say if I was bored or if I was hungry and I wanted a snack, she'd be like, go out there, cut some rhubarb for me. And I'd slice it off and I'd do the leaf thing and I'd feel so important that I helped and put those leaves out. So that's something that your kids can do. You make sure you can tell them how to do it. It's not hard. They can't wreck the plant. I mean, really, come on, give them some responsibility. Anyway, this is really good to eat raw if you dip it in sugar, and I haven't done that in a long time, and I might just sit there and do this tonight by myself on the front porch with some rhubarb and some sugar. But you can just take a big stalk like this, dip it in sugar, and eat it. It's delicious. If you like tart, tangy things, sour things, which is actually my very favorite type of flavor, is sour. This is for you. You're going to love this, okay? So now you can eat it raw. It's all right. And you can eat it cooked in many different ways. I've even used rhubarb. Make sure you check out my channel. Make sure you check out my shows. I've actually used rhubarb in marinades, okay, for pork and things like that. Delicious. Rhubarb has a lot of different applications. People don't think of rhubarb. They just think of it as like some random plant their grandmother had in their, you know, garden somewhere. Use it. It's good. It's good for you, okay? And it's plentiful. It's inexpensive. Look how many dishes I'm going to make with this. Like, seriously. That's only the first harvest of the year. This thing grows enormously. It's like this big. My plant's like that big, and I'm not mad at it. Every time I go out there, I'm like, wow, that rhubarb is really growing well. Nice. When you plant rhubarb from the very beginning, you have to wait a couple years before you're actually able to eat the harvest because the stalks don't taste very nice. It takes a little bit for them to, you know, to come to maturity and really produce what you want, okay? Please be careful with your fingers. Yeah, make sure you use a nice sharp knife. That's it. And since this is going to take me quite some time, I'm going to tell you about a little community that I found online. It's called Amor Kibi, and it's amorkibi.com. And it's actually Latin, okay? So don't worry, it's AMORCIBI.com. If you're wondering what that means, it means the love of food, okay? So this community, you can share your recipes, you can test out recipes, you can create cookbooks, you can do all kinds of cool things in there. But the whole point is, let's get out there and enjoy food. Let's share what we love together. You know what I'm saying? So it's food lovers from all over the world, and we're sharing recipes, and we're making sure that none of these amazing recipes we have from our youth, from our history, from our long lines of families aren't lost to the world. Let other people try and enjoy them. That's what I try to do with you guys too, and that's why I really like this community, and I like their premise, because that's the entire reason why I originally started cooking with Kimberly, what, 6 or 7 years ago. My whole premise was not to help you guys, and I'm sorry it's not nice, but it is nice, because the reason why I started this website, cookingwithkimberly.com, was to be able to have one main spot where the people in my family could come and get Grandma's recipes and, you know, Aunt Rose's recipes and my mom's Svibok recipe or whatever, our family recipes, all in one spot, because that's what you remember as a young one. At least I do. I remember going to the farm and smelling all those amazing things coming out of Grandma's kitchen. She'd always make us treats, and it was always old world dishes, things that none of my friends knew what the heck how to pronounce. They've never had it before. They always looked at me like I'm crazy. But these are the recipes that are our soul food. It's what warms your heart. It's what brings you back to your own culture. It's what brings you back to your family. And I think it's very important to share. So make sure you go check out Amor Kibi, and it's pronounced, with the C-I-B-I is pronounced Kibi in Latin. Easy, guys, relax. It is. Go look it up. Anyway, you're going to really, really love that spot, okay? So bon appetit over there. There's thousands, hundreds of recipes. Go on, check it out, okay? I have a profile over there. I haven't actually fleshed anything out much yet. I haven't had a chance to go over there. But I've checked out a lot of the recipes, and I just think it's a really interesting, neat community. So I hope you guys go check that out. Make sure you tell them Cooking with Kimberly sent you, okay? Very nice people over there. All right, everybody. So this is really not rocket science. I'm going to be doing this for probably 20 more minutes or so. And I'm just going to fill up this one. I'm just going to fill up this one bag. So yes, I don't know if you've been able to tell, but when I grab large stalks, I grab similar large stalks. When I grab tiny stalks, I grab like 5 or 6 of them. And I just try and make more even cuts, right? And you're doubling up. Otherwise, you're doing each one individually, and that's going to take you forever. You don't want to do that. Who wants to do that? Not me. Anyway, this rhubarb, this is going to last a while in nice freezer bags in the freezer, okay? Don't use just any old regular bags. Try and use freezer bags because they're gonna hold everything fresh much longer, okay? Your rhubarb, I mean, you could probably store it in there for a year, for crying out loud. I mean, nothing's gonna happen to it. It's just gonna sit there. As long as it's not freezer burnt, you're okay. So use the right bag, and that's it. Put some sugar in there. Sugar is something that preserves food. Also, if you didn't know that, and so is salt. But you don't want to put salt with rhubarb. You want to put sugar. Okay. So check it out. Now I'm just gonna do this just so we can get an idea of how much we have in here. So this is filled up almost to the top, but I have some room around the edges. So I'm gonna say that's probably 4.5 cups of sliced rhubarb thus far. I'm actually gonna fill this up a little bit more because I'm gonna need more than that for a lot of my recipes. Okay, so try storing your rhubarb in different size amounts. So like for, let's say for some muffins. If I'm gonna make muffins, I'm probably gonna use about 1.5 cups of it, okay? So just eyeball it. Use about 1.5 cups. Put that away in a little bag if you can. Now for mouse, I'm gonna use like more like 6 cups or something like that. Maybe even more, maybe 8 cups. So big bags that are full like that are what I would need to grab for my mouse, okay? And I don't know what else I could possibly tell you. So I'm going to do these last 2 stalks, and then I'm going to show you the simple way to do it, okay? Make sure you have enough room in your freezer. Give some away if you like. If you know, make a rhubarb pie. How delicious is that? Now, a really cool idea is to actually freeze your, hold on, I'm going to show you. Another really cool way to store rhubarb is to put it all in a pie plate, right? In your plastic. You can put plastic underneath or whatever, right? And make sure you have nice big bags to store that in. So what you do is you put that all in, put plastic underneath, put it all in like you would fill a pie. Put it in the freezer and it'll freeze nicely, right? Then you're going to use a great big bag, bigger than this, a great big resealable bag, and you can put the entire round of rhubarb into the freezer like that, so that when you take it out, you can do this with any kind of fruit. When you take it out of your freezer, it'll just automatically fit in your pie crust, and you can just prepare your pie crust, and voila, you already have your filling pretty much ready to go. Got me? How cool is that? I think that's a great idea. That's a good tip. All right, I'm almost done here. Almost done here. Cool. Okay. Here's the crux moment for everybody. Now that we had talked for a while. Okay? Alright. We'll move that out the way. So here's my bag of rhubarb. No big deal, right? I'm just going to take some sugar, and it doesn't even have to be like completely measured out. Okay? You're going to eyeball it. You just want to coat the rhubarb with sugar. Okay? So you're going to go like that. You're going to pour, I don't know, what's that? About 1/4 cup. Okay? That's 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm just going to make sure that it gets all inside. Right? Seal this up. Alright, and you're going to just make sure it gets all inside that nice rhubarb. Now, if you want to add sugar halfway through that bag, sometimes that's easier to do too, and that works great. Especially if you're using a great big bag. It's a good idea to do that, okay? I might need just a little bit more sugar with this. Rhubarb requires quite a lot of sugar when you're cooking with it, so, I mean, don't be scared, okay? So that's it. That's how you prepare it. Now you're going to put a date on here, okay? And that's it. You're good to go. You have rhubarb ready for the freezer. Now, I'm going to repeat this like 8, 9, 10 more times. I'm going to do all this rhubarb up. And hopefully soon you'll see me in a marvelous recipe for amazing rhubarb creation. Okay, everybody? So, I hope you follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim, E with a capital E. I hope you like the fan page. It's facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly and youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. And my site is cookingwithkimberly.com. Come interact with me. Let me know what's going down. Tell me if you like rhubarb. Right, everybody? I hope you guys go check out that website. It's amorcibi.com, AMORCIBI.com. You'll see it on the bottom of my screen. All right, everybody, be champions in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye.